Welcome everybody to another training video podcast of the early childhood here at the Rock Church and World Outreach Center Children's Ministry. I am your host, Jamal Brown, along with Anastasia Lopez. She thought I was going to go this way. With Anastasia Lopez, our early childhood intern, and
Jenny Brown.
Yesenia Brown. No middle name.
No middle name.
Welcome to another podcast style training video that we just wanted to encourage you guys to watch and just get sharper and better at what we do, ministering to children. This episode we are covering honoring attention spans. That's one of our core principles here in the early childhood, is that we believe in honoring attention spans, and that you enter the heart of your child through the door of his or her interest. And so we want to make sure we are honoring the little attention that we do get from the children before they check out and want to move on to something else. Mm-hmm. And so there is a
rule of thumb.
There's a rule of thumb. Go ahead and finish my thought, Jenny.
It's a rule of thumb, and then it's a minute per their age group, or so if they're 1 year old, you have 1 minute of their attention. If they're 2, then you have 2 minutes, 120 seconds. And if there are 3, it's 3 minutes, and so on, and it continues going like that. And once they start getting into first grade, you have a little bit more than 6 minutes. It's just depending on how you keep your how you're doing the lesson is practically what it is.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, and today Jesus came to the cross.
And then Sam begot Flam, and Flam begot Lamb.
You're gonna be
you can't do all the begots. You can't. All the begots are rough with kids, even some adults. Me.
So there needs to be some volume in your voice. Different things like that. So we're gonna cover that. We're gonna break this down into different sections to help us think through our schedules and how different ways we can apply this information or these tactics. And so we're gonna start with before service. How do we honor or go about honoring attention spans? Usually is by setting out different table centers. And I think we covered this in the first training, having your classroom set up with table centers, which is in the 2s and 3s, having toys on the tables.
And we covered this in the check-in.
Yes, the first episode that we had about checking in, how to set up your classroom. So having table centers out, and then not too many, and then the rest that you don't have out, put them up. Not on the bins though. Lay them on the table. Because that becomes accessible to them. On a bin, it becomes, it's on the bin, But laying them on the table and
sometimes the bins have like 1 million Legos, so you don't have to you can put like 100,000 Legos on a table. You can't put the whole million on there. So
So having enough, and then there's another time where they could pull out the rest of them. So just having some things for them. And then if it's 4s and up, sometimes it's having them color first. I know some teachers like to have the coloring as soon as they come in, and some teachers like to save it for the end of service for them to have. So either one of those things will work, having toys out for them to play with and feel comfortable in the classroom.
Yeah, and then also too, the videos that you're playing, we have this Let It Shine DVD that's great for check-in and free play. It's
or
about,
old school.
it's about 10 minutes long, so you gotta restart it every now and again. But I like playing that rather than doing our praise and worship CD, because they're gonna hear those songs for praise and worship. So I'm not gonna play it now, and then when it's time for praise and worship, you're gonna hear, well, we already heard that song, or we already, and so I just switching it up to where you're not gonna replay something later on. that way. I think that can help their attention spans too.
And it's a kind of video music, so when they're coming in, if they don't want to play or they're being shy or they don't, they're having a hard time coming in, they just sit there and kind of watch the music video, and they like it.
Yeah, and it's the word, it's this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. The Bible is, it's not just,
Yes, Jesus loves me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not no nursery rhymes, it's the word, so it's really good. Yeah. So honoring attention spans, moving on to, the actual portion of the service. I think we kind of have a debate on this idea, and so I think it's good to talk it through,
Yes.
here live on camera.
Wow.
Them decide.
Right? You decide who wins.
You choose.
The thought process I have about this next thing I'm going to talk about is transitions can make or break your service. And so what I mean about transitions is that time in between everybody cleaning up to everybody sitting down ready for the next instructions. That little time gap right there is important because if you're not directing the service, the children are directing what's happening, and that you're kind of losing control of your classroom. So for instance, as kids are cleaning up, half of them are already cleaned up already. The other half just wants to wrestle with each other. So, as those are finishing, you can say, oh, those are finished, come grab a seat. Oh, crisscross applesauce right up here in the front. Oh, oh, he needs help with Legos. Who wants to help him? You're dictating the flow of the classroom, and that way it's a transition where you're helping them finish one task and you're helping them get to the next task. And so I think that's important. I think transitions can make or break your service. And one thing about transitions is the transitions, the instructions and the affirmations are what makes a transition. So you're telling them what to do, but you're also, oh, good job. All right, who's ever sitting down? I'm giving a high five. Giving a high five to Johnny. And other kids see that, oh, I want a high five too, or you have stickers, I want a sticker too. Well, you want a sticker, come grab a seat and sit down like Johnny. And so that affirmation is key to your transitions.
That's good.
Did you want to share on how you don't think transitions are important?
Transitions for me is just, I call them directions as you're moving them to the next, is letting them know, like, talking them through the problem, kind of like, okay, when we're coming back from, when we're going outside, you're going to touch the fence, so it's giving them instructions of what to do. Or coming in from outside, in the twos class, oh no, teacher always goes first, so I always get in front of them, and they don't make a line. It's kind of like a crowd, a mob. It's a mob.
Yeah, there's no line.
It's a mob. So, but I always kind of extend my arms, kind of like basketball. What is that called? The wings.
Defense.
The wings.
Yeah.
So you kind of get your wings out, and oh, you don't pass me, I go first, and you're kind of walking backwards, and as they're walking, you're going to tell them, you sit on a purple chair, find a purple chair. You're telling them what to do. It's not just go sit down. Well, where do I sit down? They're going to go sit on the ramp. Or they're going to go sit on the table. Go find a purple chair. And that kind of gives them, oh, where's the purple chair? It kind of gives them something to do. With the threes is, they're not so much of a mob. They kind of, if you give them the instructions before you go inside, you're going to touch the fence. And when we get inside, go find a circle. Go find a circle. And as we're walking, because going towards the threes, the walk is a little bit longer, you're in front of them and you're telling them, all right, 3-year-olds, you're going to go sit on the carpet. Find a circle. Where are we going to go sit? On the carpet. And they kind of repeat it. And if you see one that's not really connecting, you say, hey, Johnny, where are we going to go sit? And then the other kids answer, but he kind of,
These aren't, in case you're watching this and you're thinking, you have a Johnny in our program, and we're talking about Johnny, that's just the easiest name that we can think of.
What is it, Mary?
I don't know, Dr. Fred.
Dr. Fred.
Yeah, Dr. Fred has a lot of fun names.
Fun names. I can't think about them right now, but yeah. So just telling them what's expected, not just random like go sit down. That's good, but where do you want them to sit down? Because they're gonna find, if you don't tell them where, then they're gonna find where they're gonna sit down, and you're like, I did not tell you there, I told you over here, but really you didn't. So it's communicating like us. Where do you want me to sit down? How? Sit down. Oh, I did not say go sit at the table, so I said sit on the carpet, and giving them that direction. And then also for the fours, as they're leaving outside to go to the playground, I always tell them, we're gonna be quiet in the hallways because we don't want nobody else to beat us to the playground, or else they're gonna take our playground time. And then I tell them, are we gonna get on the train? And then they say no. Yes, that's right, because you're gonna wait for your parents, because you're telling them already, and that's not something, oh, the teacher already told me. No, you're ahead of them by telling them don't get on the train. But if you just let them out, where are they gonna go? To the train, because it's right there. So you being a step ahead of them by telling them what they can do and cannot do, it kind of reminds them. Half of the class, you'll still have some that will try, but that's when you say, what did I say? No getting on the train. Oh, now you get to hold my hand. So you have that backup, because you already kind of set them up to success by telling them what is expected of them.
Yep. And so transitions are important, directions are important to help them get from A to B, and to help you, capitalize on that attention span, that so little attention span that they have,
Yes.
So if you only have 15 minutes to do the service, but you're spending 10 minutes to get them to sit down, then that kind of eats into your time, And so some tips and tricks on transitioning is call to action. Call to actions is everybody, let me see you sit down like Johnny, and everybody looks at Johnny, and they're getting that praise, and as other kids like, oh, Johnny's sitting down, good job, who else is sitting down, let me see, and that call to action, kids are looking for that confirmation, like, yeah, like I did a good job. And so as you're giving them that, you're helping you're helping the transition go from, because as they're sitting down, they're not just gonna all of a sudden, after you call your name, they're gonna get up and do whatever. They're gonna stay seated, and then that gives you opportunity to kind of flow into your next thing without having to, like, after everybody sit down, you got to do a few more steps after that. And so the next thing is simple rewards, stickers. We're trying not to give out any candy nowadays. I've seen my daughter, I don't know how my daughter's in first grade, she always comes out with candy, and I'm like, where are you getting this candy from? Like, we don't give out candy. So but we don't, we're trying to we used to give out a bunch of candy, and we got in trouble. so we went to like extremely, like, no candy. But stickers, stamps on their hands, also, who wants to line up first, follow instructions. You can get snack first.
Yeah.
I like to do this transition like with first grade before we, after our Bible story to line up. Okay, let me see. Okay, who's sitting down quietly? All right, let me. We're gonna play the quiet game. And whoever's the first to laugh, and they usually try and do something that makes them laugh, and then the boys, usually always the girls win. Always.
Yeah.
And so the boys are mad. I'm like, what are you mad for? Girls go first, And so, we try to teach them to be gentlemen at the same time. But that's fun. And
with
then
their stamps too, I did this a few times in the 3-year-olds as they're sitting down listening. I sometimes put one in my hand. I said, "Ooh, do you want one of these?" And they're like, "Yeah." What you need to do while I'm reading this Bible story, or while you're doing praise and worship, after, if you do a good job, I'll give you one. And then after Bible, the same thing. And then they get one also on their paper if they do a really good job. Those go a very long way. you know, and they come out and the first thing they tell their mommy, I got a stamp, you know. So those are, and they're washable. It comes off right away once they're washed their hands. Sometimes they don't even want to wash their hands because they have their stamps. So we do have those at hand. We could start putting them on the carts more often just to make them more accessible. But I know that's worked. I did the class a few times in the 3s, and it's been really good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Simple songs as well. I do this. I've seen somebody do this, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna put that in my little tool bag, you know. But this was like years ago. We were in the 3s, and like it was crazy. It was crazy. Kids are crying. It was hot. You know, we just came back from outside. We're trying to get them, you know, into Bible story mode, and it was like nearly impossible. And this helper, I forgot his name. He does the Itsy Bitsy Spider, you know. It's okay, who knows the Itsy Bitsy Spider? And just starts going, the Itsy Bitsy Spider, sing along with me, you know. And the kids start singing it, and I was like, this is weird, you know. Why are we doing the Itsy Bitsy Spider? And then after he finishes it, because it's a short song, he says, okay, now we're gonna do the baby spider, you know. And he's like, you guys ready? And he does this little tiny voice, itsy bitsy, and then the kids start busting up. I was like, this is like magic. Like, how did he, you know? And he does the itsy bitsy spider, you know, with this little tiny baby voice, little squeaky voice. And after he does that, he's like, okay, who's ready for, you know, the daddy spider? And then, you know, he does this big old huge, the itsy, with this big voice. And so I was like, oh, I'm using that. I'm taking that, and that's in my tool bag. So some people probably see me do that. That's where I got it from.
Yes.
That's
and
great.
it's okay to share and to put it in your toolbox.
Yes. So yes, try it. You know, definitely if you're trying to, you know, diffuse a situation or get, you know, have a transition. The next thing we want to talk about during service is kind of plan for an interesting, you know, open to your class, you know, like something that's going to hook the kids and keep their attention. You know, you don't want to say, okay, kids, today we're going to talk about, you know, David and Goliath and how he, you know, killed the giant, and you just gave away your whole, like, everything you're going to talk about, you just gave it away in that first, like, 20 seconds, you know, like, how are you going to keep their attention? They're like, oh, I know the story, you know. But if you start with, you know, there was, you know, this brave warrior, we're going to talk about this brave warrior, you know, and then they're like, oh, it's brave, you know, they're wondering, who's that, you know, and he had this impossible mission, this possible mission, you know, but only God can help him. Only God can help him? Oh, I want to know about this, you know. And then as you're giving a story, and then at some point they're like, oh, it's David, but you had their attention for, you know, 5-6 minutes at that time.
First graders, right?
Yeah, first graders, kindergartners, even 4s.
Sometimes 4s.
Sometimes 4s.
Depends what kind of service, if it's a Wednesday or a Sunday morning, or, you know.
Yeah. And then use dialogue with your Bible stories. That helps. You know, just don't read the Bible story. Kind of know it and get in your heart. And that way, you know, when you do a Bible story like Samuel, you know, and you know, Samuel went to Eli and said, you know, what you call me for? You know, and Eli's like, boy, go back to sleep, you know, or something like that, you know.
But then also to the new Bible cards that we do have, it kind of has in parentheses of kind of interaction with the kids, so that kind of helps. But you also kind of just read them along at least once, so you know it's a catch you off guard, because sometimes I'm reading through it and I'm like, oh, I already said that, good job, kids, and then I'm saying it again, you know, because I'm reading the back of the Bible card. But yeah, like he said, you know, or when it says food, you know, I sometimes add to it, you know, they couldn't eat hamburgers or pizza, you know, because manna, they don't know what manna is, you know.
Yeah.
But if you make it relatable to them, like they couldn't have pizza or hamburgers, there was nothing, only, you know.
And what you're doing, you're sucking them into the story.
Correct.
Where you're like, oh, like they, you know, they want to, they're a part of the story instead of just, you know, getting told what's happening.
And then with toys, or they didn't have anything, you know, they didn't have Transformer cars, or they didn't have things that's relatable to them, you know. It makes it more of their level, and you could catch, oh, it's not just a Bible story that they don't know about. They could relate to it, and they can know what it is. Oh, they feel it, like when they didn't have that food, or when they have that toy. When they don't have it, they know how it feels. So it's relatable.
And so another tip, you know, with all this honoring attention spans is once you got their attention, you have to you have to do something with it. You know, you can't like, okay, everybody sit down, and then like everybody's sitting down, and you're like, okay, let me go and grab this. Okay, let me go grab this.
Let me get a drink of coffee.
Yeah, because you know, as soon as you got it, you know, you have to move on it because you're gonna lose that. You know, again, you know, 3-year-olds, you only have 3 minutes max. You know, if you're really good, you can probably squeeze 5. You know, but you know, you don't have that long. So once you have their attention, utilize it. Anastasia, a few tips on like maybe 2s and 3s, like best time to like do Bible stories.
So the best time is during snacks. So like have your helper pass out snacks and then do your Bible story really fast. Be like, oh, did you know this and this? And like that. Be like, once they have their snack, they're going to look at you. Be like, okay, friends, whoever has snack, raise your hand. And like that gets their attention. Be like, okay, I'm going to start the story now. You have to listen. Like that.
Yeah, definitely snack time we found is the best time. Or if you have a small class and you can do the, Bye Bye Buggy. That's a good way. You know, I know Saturdays are really small, so it's like, all right, we're going on an adventure, and we just go and just kick it by the fountain and then do the Bible story out there or something. But and
then also too, the Bible stories help out a lot there, for you to keep your attention, and it brings that down to their level with them interacting with you, and you interact with them. Like saying ooh and ah, and oh, sad face.
And then some tips with the 4s and through 1st grade. One thing that I like to do, I don't do this a lot, but this really makes a difference in the class. It kind of keeps everybody engaged from beginning to end, and it's really powerful. I created a game at the beginning of the service, boys versus girls. And I tell them, I lay out the rules, okay, everybody's going to get points for answering questions, for following instructions, and even for participating, and everybody's like engaged, like, oh yeah, the boy's going to win, girl's going to win. And so I do ridiculous points, 1,000 points, because, they really, honest, at the end of the day, they don't matter, because at the end of the service, or the reward. So if I'm doing this for, the beginning of the service up until playground time, the winner gets to go outside, line up first. I don't say that at the beginning, because then they're gonna want to play. But it keeps the attention, it keeps the everything going in the class. And then if we do have special snacks, we do always have special snacks in the classrooms. We have little suckers, maybe Tootsie Rolls. I know we said no candy, but
you could give it to them and they could take it home, and then the parents decide if they could have it.
Yeah, and every now and again it's fun that you can include it in there. So I encourage you to try that in your classroom. During the service, ask your helpers. You can explain it when you say, even all the helpers are watching, they're going to give points too, so after praise and worship, who participated more, oh, the boys got 500 points, oh, the girls got 1,000 points, and everybody's like, dang it, like, all right, we're going to get these next points, and so it keeps everybody engaged. After service, ways to keep honor and attention spans. I usually like to save my snack and movie time at the end. It's only like that 10-minute window of everything's gone, and we're just pretty much waiting for service to end. That's a great way to kind of cap off my service. Kids are I don't want to pull. I've been pulling from them all service, so at that time it's like, okay, just kind of check out a little bit.
And then for the 2s and 3s, after because they gobble their snack, and then
there's no free play movie time.
There's no free play movie time. You could turn it on, but at the same time, I suggest in the 2s and 3s, once snack time is over and everything's picked up, put out some toys that you did not take out in the free play, because like we said it before, if you don't have anything for them, they will come up with something.
Yes.
And that will become your running. It will be a track in there. It will be a track meet.
Yeah.
Or it will be a climbing, a jungle gym with all the tables and everything. So give them something for them to play with.
A few options I usually like to do.
Yeah, even if it's just 2 centers, I know you're gonna have to pick up, but once the classroom starts getting smaller and kids start going, you could have those last 2 help you clean up. But please take out something, because if not, they will take over the classroom, and then when you're trying to check out, it will look like a jungle gym in there. So take out some toys. It doesn't hurt, and I know, and still play the movie. It doesn't matter. Have the movie going. In the 2s and 3s, we do have those YouTube videos, which I'm in the process of making more. Those grab their attention pretty well, too.
And so we're just wrapping up this last point, but musical chairs, the old school games, musical chairs, Duck Duck Goose, those are always fun to bust out whenever, and so those are really good things to kind of keep their attention spans at the end. And also memory verse race or question and answers of the lesson to give out special prizes.
Yes.
So that's it for as far as honoring attention spans in this training. I want to thank you guys for watching.
Thank you so much.
Anastasia, we're going to try and do this again.
Right. Okay. I think I got it. Okay. So you guys can email us at planetrock@rockchurch.com with this emoji on my side this time.
Yes.
On her side.
With that emoji.
And with your first and last name as well.
Yeah, we're trying to track on who's watching these videos to make sure, we are
staying sharp.
Yeah, that we are reaching those who needs to be reached. And so we're just trying to be responsible on what God has given us. And so that way we're just trying to manage it. So yeah, please email that emoji to us. That way we can track who's watching this video. If you have any questions or concerns, comment in the comment section below, or send us an email and say, hey, I really like this. Can you demo this in my class? And we can, no problem, we can do that for you.
Or send us some subjects that you would like us to talk about, but most likely we will cover. But if we haven't, please let us know. If something
is like really like why does kids come in my classroom with green shirts? Like, how do I stop that? If some unique situation, we can try and cover it and get a hold of that.
Yes.
So thank you guys for watching this early childhood training video. My name is Jamal Brown. We got.
I was making sure you're coming this way. Jenny Brown.
We got Anastasia Lopez, and then we got Jamal Brown again.
And you got Jenny Brown.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in church.
See you later.
Thanks,
bye bye.